Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices. It'll be a relatively short video, but there are a few key points that I need to make. The first main point that I'd like to make is with the Stock 50 here daily index is that we haven't made a new high above this wave 3 yet. We have done this on the DAX and the Germany mid-cap and some others. We've moved higher than this wave 3 here, but we haven't done it here so far, and basically it kind of needs to happen. So I'm still looking for one more push up here, but realistically if we're going to get a push up here, then we're going to get that in the other markets, aren't we? So when it comes to the DAX, the FTSE's like this as well, actually. So we'll get to that. I'll go to the DAX next. But the FTSE I can also count as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's not an isolated case, and it's just some, it's just sort of sticking out like a sore thumb. So it's quite possible to get another move up here. So we just need to be a little bit mindful of this. And coming into the DAX here, I've sort of made provisions for that, because with the DAX we can count this top being in play here. I don't need to go into all of that history again, but if it's going to push up from the 13,000, we can see that it's really sticking here to it. And what we have done here is we had this high here, and then we could bring it down to this high. We could bring the entry down to this high, and now we can bring it down to this high here. Okay, and the same with this low here. This was the important one here, and we had this one here. I've put it on a thinner line because it would be at more risk, but it's still worthwhile taking because it's showing us that the market's moved down, it's retested, but the retest hasn't failed and moved down from that point. But still, we could move that across to here now. We could also move it up into here as well, but I won't get too cheeky. I'll just leave it here so we've got time to investigate that a little bit further. I think that the other obvious thing here I'll just save this, but the other obvious thing here that's staring us in the face here is that this is really turning into a little bit of a triangle sort of pattern through here as well. And a triangle pattern, you'll need to look on the futures market for this, but basically a correction or triangle pattern should be on lower volume than the previous move up. So this move up here, if you've got access to the futures market, then have a look at the volume. This volume here needs to be more volume than what's going on in here. There should be less volume in a corrective pattern, and that's how you work out that it is a corrective pattern if there is less volume here. But this is a CFD, so they don't supply the volume. So that makes it a little bit difficult to look at it at here. So, but look, I just think that where analysis meets trading is within the trade setup, and when we're unsure about the analysis, there could be other possibilities that we don't want to miss. We don't want to be fixed on one particular thing. So, look, if a new high is made through here, then move up. You could also move in a bit earlier here as well. So that 1330 here that I've probably explained before, if that becomes the tested support, not just trading up and then coming back down. So this one traded up here, then it came down and bounced off the 30, the top of group 1, moved up. So we can take, realistically, if that was the high, if we move down from that high to that high, then it moves down here and goes back up and moves down here, then we could move it to trigger to this high here. But it came down here and found the 30 as a retested resistance and failed to the, broke new lows here to the downside, so that wasn't sort of helpful. So you need that as a tested support, that 1330 there as a tested support, and that would be the catalyst to move in to the upside there. And the same will happen to the downside here too. Again, excuse me. We'll get it moves down, you get the bounce off there, then it falls through here, then it comes back up and tests it, and then that would be your retest there, reference point, and then if it moves through, then you take that and then keep the stop, above here. Okay, look, the AEX is has got the same pattern as the DAX and the Stock 50, of course, as well. I could even get this counted out as a move like the Stock 50 here, putting wave 3 here and wave 4 here and wave 5 here. So this is a real possibility as well coming into play here. As a wave 4 correction, though, it would come down to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, and then move up from that point there. But I'm just going to leave it here for the time being. I don't have a trade call. I'm not calling a trade in here at this point. If I can see that this movement in here is actually corrective, then then we can look at that sort of longer trade there. So this is what we're calling in here. This is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So if I've got this wrong, then we'll be looking at it like this here. We would be looking at it as as 5 waves down for either wave A or wave 1, and then an A and a B and a C wave for wave 2, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here, and then it can push up from there. So I don't think we need to turn bearish in this until we get this number here as a retested resistance. I mean, you can go short now if you wanted to, and you'd need to keep the stop somewhere up in this little area here for this move here. Okay, which is not such a bad idea. I mean, if I just grab that there, copy that, put that there, and I'll just turn that red. That's where that would need to go. It just needs to be out of the way. In fact, just put it just above 4.6 there. I mean, I prefer stops at 7, but there's no need for that. If it comes back up to this level here, it's definitely out of the race at that stage. We'll just leave that and see if we can bring that stop down further. But it would be down at 41 and 40 that would be looking for that, and also 1 and 2. And then you count 5 waves in here for the third wave coming onto 43. Expect a bounce off the 43 to come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree in here, and then this move down through here. So it may not come all the way down here. Just depend on what's sort of happening generally in the market. And the FTSE, it's also much like the Stock 50 as well. I mean, I can see this as being a wave 4 here. I've gone over this before. I've looked at all of this as wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, and I just don't have that. I don't have that blue wave 4 correction. So that would have to be the blue wave 4 correction. Yes, it could get uglier and all the rest of it. And I was looking at this as being wave 1 up here. It wasn't the best wave 1 I've seen in the world. But the interesting thing now, though, is that if I look at this move down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 as the A wave, back for the B wave 50-60%, and then 5 waves down here for the C wave here. So I think that we could be finished here at this point. Like I've probably said before, I put a green line in here now, but if the 75 became the retested resistance, then we can go short from there, because we need to be on the right side at the right time. And also too, this was up here, or maybe even up here. This needs to be brought down to this high here now. This does appear to be impulsive up through to here, so we'll look for an A and a B and a C might already be in here. But as I would have said before, is that the 30 here is obviously, wherever you see a 3, it's part of group 1, and 10, 20 and 30. So if we get a tested support back on this level here, then that's the catalyst to the upside here. But at the same time, taking that high out there would be would also do the trick as well. But you would need to leave the stop down here somewhere, just tuck it under here out of the way for a while, it's okay having a wider stop. You just trade less contracts, that's all. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Cheers.